For years, the alliance between Russia and China has drawn global attention. As Western tensions with these two powers escalate, recent moves at the BRICS 2024 summit in Kazan have brought Presidents Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping closer than ever. The leaders signed major new agreements across critical areas, from energy to technology and military cooperation. This new level of partnership between Russia and China signals a profound shift in the world order. What exactly was signed at the BRICS summit, and how might it impact the West? Are we witnessing the rise of a powerful alliance that could challenge Western dominance? The agreements signed by Putin and Xi in Kazan build on their strategic partnership, but take it to an entirely new level. The talks focused on several critical areas: energy, infrastructure, technology, and defense. These agreements are not just symbolic. They lay the groundwork for a long-term alliance designed to counterbalance the influence of Western powers. One of the central agreements involves expanding energy cooperation. With Western sanctions cutting Russia off from European markets, China has stepped in as a major buyer of Russian oil, gas, and coal. During the summit, the two leaders committed to expanding the Power of Siberia pipeline network, which supplies natural gas from Russia to China. The leaders also accelerated plans for a Power of Siberia 2 pipeline that would send gas from Russia's gas-rich Yamal Peninsula to western China, ensuring China's energy needs are met while providing Russia with a critical market. In addition to energy, Russia and China agreed to increase joint investments in infrastructure, focusing on transportation corridors across Central Asia. These projects align with China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, and further integrate Russia into this vast trade network, offering both nations alternative trade routes that bypass Western-controlled regions. These energy agreements are about more than just economic cooperation. They represent a strategic move to create long-term security for both nations. For Russia, the Kazan agreements mean a guaranteed buyer for its energy resources, even as the European market becomes less accessible due to sanctions. Energy exports to China will continue to provide a significant revenue stream, enabling Moscow to fund its international policies and maintain its influence on the world stage. For China, securing energy supplies from Russia is equally critical. As China's economy expands, so does its need for affordable and reliable energy sources. The expanded pipeline projects ensure that China can meet its energy demands without relying on volatile global markets, where prices can fluctuate with Western policies. By partnering with Russia, China insulates itself from these market swings and gains a stable energy supply, fueling its growth and development for decades to come. The energy partnership not only deepens economic ties, but also reduces the West's ability to control the energy markets and exert influence over these two countries. Together, they are building an independent energy corridor that strengthens their sovereignty and limits Western leverage. One of the most significant areas of cooperation discussed in Kazan was technology. With both Russia and China facing heavy restrictions on Western technology, including sanctions that limit access to critical components like semiconductors, they are committed to building a technology ecosystem independent of the US and its allies. China's tech giant Huawei is already working with Russian firms to develop independent 5G infrastructure and telecommunication systems, reducing reliance on American or European technology. Additionally, China has invested in Russian cybersecurity and software development, areas where Russia excels. By pooling resources and expertise, the two countries aim to create an alternative to Western tech ecosystems that have historically dominated global markets. They also announced a joint initiative to develop semiconductor production. By collaborating on this crucial technology, Russia and China hope to challenge Western dominance in the semiconductor industry, which is essential for everything from smartphones to advanced weapon systems. This effort is seen as a step toward technological sovereignty for both nations, giving them control over critical technology and reducing vulnerability to Western sanctions. The closer Russia-China alliance is causing significant concern in the West, especially in Washington and among NATO allies. Western governments are acutely aware that these agreements could shift the global balance of power. The US and its allies have ramped up diplomatic efforts to counter this new alignment, with initiatives that focus on bolstering partnerships in Asia and Europe. In response to the Kazan agreements, NATO has increased its presence in Eastern Europe, while the U.S. has enhanced its security partnerships with Japan, South Korea, and other allies in the Indo-Pacific region. The West's reaction highlights a new phase of strategic competition as NATO nations prepare to counter the growing influence of a united Russia-China alliance. Western countries also worry about the economic ramifications of these new agreements. As Russia and China establish their own trade networks, energy corridors, and technological standards, Western influence over the global economy could weaken. Countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America may choose to align with this alternative bloc, reducing their dependence on Western institutions and diminishing Western control over global markets. The agreements between Russia and China at the BRICS 2024 summit signal a shift toward a multipolar world, where Western dominance is no longer assured. By creating new energy routes, technological standards, and military alliances, Russia and China are offering an alternative for nations that seek independence from Western influence. The shift could have profound implications for global trade, security, and governance. As these two powers build a bloc that rivals Western influence, countries around the world may find themselves choosing sides in a new era of geopolitical alignment. Emerging nations may see Russia and China as attractive partners, creating a global order less reliant on the US and Europe. The world is changing, and the Kazan summit has accelerated this shift. With Russia and China strengthening their alliance, the US and its allies must confront a reality in which they may no longer be the undisputed leaders of global politics. The agreements signed by Putin and Xi at BRICS 2024 are a significant milestone in the Russia-China alliance, marking a new era of cooperation that challenges Western dominance. By expanding their partnership in energy, technology, and defense, they are setting the stage for a world where power is shared among multiple poles rather than dominated by one. What does the future hold for this alliance, and how will the West respond? As Russia and China continue to strengthen their ties, we may be witnessing the emergence of a new world order.